Well, hey guys, this is DK Spencer. You can tell because of that. So this is a Vulcan M17. Hard for me not to say CQMF because it's probably been 2 years since I've built an actual M17 for less lethal home defense. I have built a few CQMFs in the past couple of years, but I've stuck mostly with the VKSs and FSC carbines and stuff like that. So I'm a little rusty on this. Like I say, I have done some CQMFs, but this is going to be completely different anyway because this is going to be Home Defense 24 modded out. First thing I always do is to get rid of this. It's not gonna. We're gonna take this whole section here out anyway, apparently. So, but I like to get that thing out of the way. All right. So that's phase one. All right, phase one done. All right. Next thing we're gonna do is we're going to go ahead and just get rid of this handguard because we're not gonna use it. Come on, guy. Well, whatever. That one's wanting to be weird on me. Oh, it's because it won't come out of the thing. Like I say, I'm a little rusty on these babies. But anyway, that's, yeah, we'll get rid of that. We'll come back to that. All right, so now this here apart. Okay. Okay. Now everything's apart. All right. So now that we've got this separated, we can concentrate on this puppy here. Let's see here. Little spring and a detent there. You do not want to, a little detent ball you do not want to lose. Okay. Okay. So, and by the way, if anybody has not checked it out yet, check out Sean Kempter, Less Lethal for Dummies. Check out his video on doing this. He's probably, not probably, he is definitely a lot smoother on these than I am. He messes with them a lot more. I know he's got the 1911 grip on his, so he had to go through quite a bit more to get the grip off than what you do. This is still just a factory grip on this one, so like he's saying in his video, you just, it goes down in there. It's a number 3 Allen key to take that out. All right. Once you get that apart, you're going to take a 2.5 and loosen your safety selector up, and just go ahead and get that out of the way. Pull both sides out. Then you're going to set this down. Gosh, I haven't had... so in the CQMFs, I typically didn't do anything to the trigger groups because I was basically I was topping them off at about 48 or 50, so I wasn't getting crazy where I was needing to shim triggers and stuff. But with this kit, we've got to do that in here, and this one should be quite decently powerful. Whoopsie. Yeah, well, it don't matter. We're going to take all that apart anyway. That's getting changed too. So, all right. Okay, now, so these 2 pins stuck up in the top part. We're going to take those out and put them back where they go. All right. Now, this is the spring that back in the day, this is the spring we would, shim. This is the main one that we would shim. So I would typically take a screw, file it down. Anyway, I've got videos on it. They're over 2 years old, but so this is sitting here like this. That spring goes in there. It's got the little ball bearing to help hold the spring in place. All right. So that's kind of how that does. Like that, right? Yeah. All right. And then we've got this guy over here. So what we're going to do, need to keep these springs away so I don't mix them up when I get the new ones. So I'm just going to gently pop that out. Get this guy, put that over there. All right. Now, this is something that I never messed with. I would do this. I would shim these, but I never really got into doing anything else really to them. So, all right. So I'm gonna get a block. So what I'm doing is compressing that and knocking this out. There we go. Okay, there's that. Pull this little guy off, and there's that. So there's all 3. Oh, they're off camera. Wow. There's all 3 of the ones we're messing with. Hope I didn't do too much off camera. I'm bad for that. Okay. Now here's where it gets a little bit confusing, because the sear springs, this is really your sear spring. And that's what we used to shim sear springs all the time. That was like when you did these things, you put in the O-ring, you shim the sear spring, bumpers, and you're pretty much good to go. Back when I was messing with them. So now just bear in mind that the bolt locking spring, that is your sear spring, okay? And then these 2 go in your other places. All right. So one of them we're going to just put right back in here. That goes right like that. Put that little guy back over it. Oh, that's definitely a stiff a spring, son. All right, so, well, I have nerve damage in my hand, so I'm not the best at this. Here we go. Oh, about screwed up there, y'all. Make sure it's lined up on both sides. Try to get it kind of in the middle. It's not going to get in the middle for me though, is it? There we go. All right. So we got that where it needs to be. Okay. Now we are going to get the other one. And I'm going to put it on the little nipple that sticks down there. Definitely want to hold it, make sure it don't pop out on me, because these are definitely tighter than the other ones. So what we're going to do is try to just compress it and get it in that little, hopefully you guys can see what I'm doing. Putting it on that little nipple and getting it in that little groove. Nipples and grooves, son, nipples and grooves. There you go. Okay, well, that's gravy. Then we're going to get out the bolt locking spring, aka sear spring, and that is going to go right in here. So you can see what I'm doing. It's going to go on that little ball bearing and go into that little groove. Ouch. Okay. May have went a little farther back than I need to. All right. Okay, that little nut come out. Make sure to keep up with that nut and keep it in the right place. That's what your handle screws into. Now, do we feel lucky? So you can cheat and look and kind of see where those little pins go. I guess it's not cheating, but be careful if you're doing that when you're holding it up. Make sure everything's, staying in place where it's supposed to be. All right. Once you get that done, go ahead and put this screw back in. Don't over tighten that, by the way. All right. There we go. So make sure that will go to all three positions before you screw it back together. And then also make sure that you're putting this back in the same orientation as that side. Okay. Tighten that baby down real good. Make sure that guy's snug. I hear the wife vacuuming upstairs. That's a good thing. For me, maybe not for you guys. Hope it's not too distracting. Okay, now, so we can get rid of that. Now we're going to put our grip back on. So drop your little detent ball down in there. Drop your little spring down in after it. Let's see something. I'm just curious. I hadn't messed with one of these in so long. Yeah, it's got that gap. Okay. Magpul. That's a modified Magpul. Actually, I did that one for the Leshy, I believe. So anyway, we'll go with this. We'll go with the factory one for now. I want one like Sean's with the 1911 grips. I've got a bunch of 1911 grips, but okay. Okay, got that tightened back up. Get rid of all this crap I don't need. Okay, so what we're gonna do, I'm actually gonna do some different stuff to this one once I get it going, but I'm going to go ahead and put this guy back. Get in there, guy. All right. Just like so. Well, what did I do with those one screws? Have I lost my mind? Okay, there we go. That's what I was looking for. I'm putting that in the wrong place, though. Told y'all, I'm rusty on this. Very rusty. Okay. All right, now. And we will tighten all that better here in a wee bit. So right now what we're going to do is we're going to put this guy on here. All right, so it's important to remember take those guys out. It's probably not going to stay, but it's important to remember that that goes under here like that. So it goes under that little piece there. It would suck to, you know, forget that and then get it all tightened up and have it in their own place. All right. Same deal, you gotta squeeze this under there. Push that little sleeve down out of the way. There we go. Okay. Okay. Now, you got to take, to put this on, you actually have to take these screws out. Okay, I'll pull that out because the way this is turned, your holes are in the wrong place. So you have to do that. You have to take that out, and then this is going to mount. It's going to actually attach like that. Okay. So we're going to goes that way. Or do it. And then this one, where you've just got the two holes, you're going to go in and line up like that. Okay. Do not tighten everything yet. Started. And the first mistake of the day. I put the one in the bottom but not the top. Don't forget to put that little sleeve in there. Now go back and do it again. Have to work with that a little bit to get that guy started straight. And we'll go back and check, make sure everything's tight on that. Then you're going to put your handguard's going to go on like that, and then those 4 screws we took out is going to secure that. First thing I want to do though is check. Yep, perfect length. These are 2mm or 2.5. Ooh, that looks sexy. Okay. What y'all think? We getting there? Alright, let's move some junk out the way. Okay, next move we got to do here is getting the heat core out. Alright, so anything you're going to do, you got to do it right. Use sterile equipment. Alright, so what we're going to do now, I usually use actual forceps for this, but get you something and pull those little pins out right there. After you pull those little pins out, get these little washers off. It's like plain operation. Yeah, I could just flip it over, but what fun would that freaking be? Alright, by the way, there's a screw pop. I was talking in one of my other videos about different kinds of little miniature utility blade holders. That's a screw pop, and it's got a magnet at the back of it, so it actually will pull it back, so you can actually adjust it a little, right? Or a little more. Woo, big difference, huh? And then, yeah, and it's got a thing for a keychain. I love these. One of my favorites. So anyway, what I like to do, see, one of them fell out. They always do. One of them always has to be a wise guy. But I put my finger behind the trigger and give it some pressure like this. And, well, usually, there we go. All right. There, we're going to pull the heat core out. Interesting, interesting. Looks like a perfectly good mill sig in there. Yeah, yeah. I must really be rusty because I thought only the CQMFs come with the mill sig installed already. I'm out of date, y'all. All right, so then we're going to reach in here. We're going to put the safety off. And we can pull our bolt out. All right. So one mod we're going to do is changing that spring. So we're going to go ahead and get rid of that. All right. Make sure that this puppy's good and tight. You can even put some Loctite on it if it's loose and put it back together. But yeah, there we go. New spring. All right. Make sure that pin's tight too. Okay. And before we forget, we're gonna take the old bumpers off because we got new ones of those too, son. Okay, now. All right, so we're gonna remove the back part of this from the front part of this, son. Goodness gracious. Well, that's nasty. Wipe that off. Okay, so now we're going to put this in the parts bin. And while I'm thinking about it, I'm going to go ahead and put a silicone washer on here. And apparently we're supposed to put one of these in front of it to protect it. Okay. Here's that washer. Not washer, that O-ring doesn't look the best, but so we're going to use the extra one out of here. Okay. So we got 4 screws in there and an O-ring. Okay. Actually, I'm gonna lube ye old O-ring. Okay. Almost tempted to put a little Loctite on there since it had some before, but we'll leave it alone for now. Okay. Got that guy good and tightened back up. Put a little grease down in there around where the heat core O-ring is. Okay. Now, I'm gonna drop that guy down in there. That's a healthy spring right there. Well, let's just knock the camera all over the freaking place. All right, I want to take some DuPont silicone lubricant. I'm going to spray down in there. Okay. We're going to push that in. It's going to be a pain in the butt. Let's use a crock stick. Why not? Gotta love crock sticks. Well, I've got myself in a pickle. I didn't get it near fine. There we go. Knock everything off the table while we're at it. Alright. Whew. That was kind of rough. But I made it look easy though, right? Right. Guys, make sure you like and subscribe. And check out all my other videos on, you know, fun stuff like this. Alright. So, now, so that's going to go in there. Tank's going to go on the back, and we're all done. Woohoo! Okay, and I didn't really vocalize what I was doing through that very well, but so make sure that your safety is in either full auto or semi-auto when you're doing that, when I was pushing it in, and you're also pulling the trigger until it goes all the way in. Then you're letting loose of the trigger and cutting your safety back to the on position, the don't go pew pew position. All right, now, once that is said and done, and actually I'm going to put this like this. Apparently you can do it either way, but the if you want your screw hole, if you want to be able to use a guide rod, you need to put it with the gauge down. So, all right. Okay. Got her in the right spot there. There we go. Now we cooking with gas. Or not. Okay. And it's not a lot of tension on this part, but that spring is pretty stiff, so it's more than it would have been without it, if that makes sense. All right, so those didn't have a whole lot of threads on them, so I'm not gonna get too crazy with them. Snug them up good like that there, see? Okay. So theoretically, that's a done deal. Now, obviously we need to screw a tank on it and all that jazz, but that's the gist of it. Alright, so I've got I got a little First Strike Hero 10 here. Yeah, cute, huh? This one, to the best of my knowledge, has not been shimmed, and we're going to find out for sure here in just a moment. Oh, no shimming there. Alright, so there's 5, 6, 7, 8. 800. Y'all sees that? Alright, so 800 PSI. Very standard output. I'm going to point this not at my windows. Not that there's any ammo in it, but still. Here's the moment of truth. Well, one of them. Hey, son. All right. Turn it a quarter of a turn more. Get my gauge lined up on the top. Well, let's see what she does. All right. 9.9 gram. Ooh, that's a nasty one. It's okay for your balls to be a little dirty, but when they're dirty and hairy, no. All right. So the best thing to do is to remove the winding mechanism, but since this is a brand new factory mag, we're going to just do it, you know, the old-fashioned way. So, you know, you put a couple in, wind it a couple, put a couple in. Whoops. We're going to call it a day with that. And I'm going to push my little button to release it and turn it just till it's a little loose. Alright, so there's what we got. Always make sure your mag's secure. You don't want it to fall out when you go to shoot something or somebody. Especially not if you're going to shoot somebody. Alright. Got the old couple of pans up there from last night's Berna versus S2 little thingy-majigger. So we'll, you know, see what happens. So 398. So that is 772 joules on an 800 PSI tank. And let's knock the snot out of that. That's good times. Alright, let's make sure it's not a fluke. 396, also 72. 392, that's going to be 70. 394. Yes, sir. He approves. Alright, guys, this is DK Spencer. Look, like, subscribe, and get out there and blow the heck out of something, or shoot the heck out of something, or just do the heck out of something on something.